So I kind of wanted to start this by explaining what I used, what it looks like, so you can see if you want to purchase it, you know what to look for. So top left, I have a blush. Next to that is a highlighter. Next to that is a concealer palette by MAC in the shade medium. To the right of that is a foundation palette by Cinema Secrets. I thought I used it in this video, but I really didn't, so you can kind of disregard that. Underneath to the left, I have two eyeshadows, a lip stain, a powder for setting, a face primer, some lashes, and all the way to the bottom to the left, I have eyelash glue and two contour shades that I used on her face. So just so you have a heads up, this is what everything looks like. And here's the before and the after. To start this look, I'm using Laura Geller's Welcome Matte Skin Enhancer. It's an oil and shine absorber and a pore minimizer, and I'm just using this in her T-zone. Next, I am going in with my paint pot. Sorry, I can't talk today. Soft Ochre by MAC. And I'm just using a brush since I have nails and I don't want to take her eye out. I'm just applying it with a brush and priming her eyelids and creating a very clean canvas. Now I'm just going in with an eyeshadow. This is by Kryolan and it's in the shade Apricot. And this is just kind of to match her skin tone and just bring a little bit of life back to her crease, but keep that highlight under her eye, under her eyebrow. The warm shade that I'm using here is also by Kryolan. I buy these single eyeshadows and I think they're like $6 each. And this is in the shade RB29. And I'm just focusing this on the outer part of her eye with a blending brush and blending it in to her crease. Now I'm just taking a taupe eyeshadow. I don't remember the shade of this one. I think it's by Coastal Scents, but I will list it below. And you can use any taupey kind of eyeshadow. I use like a taupe because she's very fair, so I didn't want to use a very dark brown color because as you can see, this color still does come up kind of dark on her. And I'm applying it in her crease, but right underneath that warm shade. I don't really want it to overpower the shade that she has in there now. The shade that I'm using on her lid is by Coastal Scents, and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but it's Chamois Nude. I will put the spelling in the bottom as well, because I probably said that wrong. But it is a very pale nude color to kind of match her skin tone. It's actually a little lighter than her skin, but it highlights her eyes really nicely. And now I'm just filling in her brows using the Brow Duo Powders by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a little compact that comes with two different shades, and the color for this one is Brunette. And this powder is really good actually. It took me a long time to purchase it, but I really did enjoy it. It's very blendable. And the shades look like they wouldn't match your eyebrows, but they really do. They blend in really nice. And of course, giving her a little wing. This is just a Maybelline cream eyeliner in the shade black. So I just applied lashes on her, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and kind of fix the liner. The band of these lashes was pretty thick, so what I'm doing is just kind of thickening the wing so that it doesn't look like it kind of thinned it out. Now, I got a little glue on her face, and this is why I do eyes first, and this is why I suggest doing eyes first, so that if something like this happens or get any fallout from eyeshadows on your face, you can use a makeup wipe and wipe it away without damaging makeup, you know, or foundation that you put on. So using the MAC concealer palette that I have, I'm actually using this as a foundation on her as well. And I thought I used my foundation palette, but I really didn't, so I stuck with this MAC palette the whole time. And I'm mixing the two tan shades on her face and using a damp beauty blender. The palette that I'm using is in the shade medium, and it's really good for fair skin tones, but then it's also really good as an under eye concealer or a T-zone kind of highlighting concealer for more tan skin tones. Because to be honest, what I'm using on her face would only work under my eyes. Now I'm mixing the pink shade and the yellow shade together and applying that under her eyes, on her forehead, her nose, and on her chin as her concealer slash highlighter. I love these palettes. I think they're so like versatile, and you can use them for foundations, you can use them for concealers. It all depends on the skin tone of the person you're working with and what shade palette you purchase. But they really sit well. I have to give it up to MAC. These palettes are awesome. And the pink and the yellow shade that I'm using is just going to help to brighten her face and cancel out any darkness under her eyes. And right now I'm using my RCMA colorless powder, and I'm packing it really heavily, and then I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit to really absorb and get in any creases. Now I'm going to be contouring her face with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette, and the two shades that I'm mixing are Cream Soda and Copper Brown. Copper Brown would be way too dark for her skin on its own, so I'm taking Cream Soda as the majority and kind of just mixing a little bit of the Copper Brown to give it a little bit more of a warm color. And the brush that I'm using is a e.l.f. small stippling brush. She's so silly. I don't know why she's so silly. And of course I'm using this on her forehead, her cheekbones, under her jaw, her nose, and a little bit under her bottom lip to make it look a little pouty. Now I'm just going to wipe away that extra powder that I applied. It's going to keep her face really nice and highlighted. The powder that I'm using, it looked really white, but it is a colorless powder, so it's not leaving color, but it does help brighten. The blush that I'm using now is by MAC, and it's in the shade Sincere. And of course I'm using my favorite highlighter, and that's by Becca in the shade Opal. And I'm just using that cream eyeliner and just lining her bottom waterline, creating a very thin line. I'm literally just patting it onto her waterline. And then of course I'm using mascara. This one is by Ulta. It's the Bountiful mascara, and I kind of like it. It comes with a really small brush, and it's awesome for like your bottom lashes, but I'm actually just using a disposable brush on her, so it kind of doesn't make a difference. I tell her to put her head up, and that's what she does. It's so funny. Now the lip color that I'm using is by Sephora, and it is a lip stain in the shade Marvelously Muave, and that's number 13. And I'm just using a lip brush and no liner, so that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to make sure that her lip shape is correct. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys really enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.